To my fellow fans, today we gather not in Congress, but in the court of public opinion, where every third down is debated and every quarterback decision is dissected. I come before you to report on the current condition of our beloved Washington Commanders, a franchise once mighty, now on a journey of redemption and rebuild. And now, to you, the loyal citizens of Commanders Nation. You have endured name changes, ownership scandals, and heartbreak on the field. Yet, you and I, you and I still remain. You tailgate in the cold, and I go to games in the rain. You scream through the losses, and you dare to believe that better days are coming. Your perseverance is the foundation upon which this team will rebuild. Because while ownership may change and quarterbacks get injured, one thing will never waver: the heart of this fan base. Let's get into it. We are at the halfway mark of a tough season, a season that I don't think anyone could have predicted. We had high hopes coming from last season where we reached the NFC championship game. No one expected that, especially coming from where we have came from. All of the turmoil, ownership changes, head coaches after head coach, franchise QB that we thought after franchise QB. But one thing changed all of that. And his name is Jayden Daniels. Once the team acquired Jayden, everyone expectations started to shift. No one really thought that it would be playoffs, NFC championship game. No one could have fathomed that thought coming from where we came from. But what we did have was hope. We had hope that this rookie could turn this team around. And that's what he did. So coming into this season, we thought that we could follow up. We thought that we could follow up on that vision, on that belief, on that hope. But some things are a gift and a curse. I'm not going to go as far as to say that it was a curse, but it did pull the wool over our eyes to think that our Commanders team was ready to be that juggernaut, ready to compete with the best of the best in the league. We thought that this team was ready, that it'll be prepared, that it was strong enough and healthy enough to face the elite. And we found out very quickly we're not there yet. So we're going to go through the beginning, how we got here, and what the future may look like because of the choices that management has made to get us to this point, and how we can get ourselves out of it. Again, we're only at the halfway point of the season. So let's take a deeper dive on how we ended up here at 3-6 on the season. Let's take a look. So first, we can get started with Adam Peters. When we signed Adam Peters, he was the assistant GM on the San Francisco 49ers. We believe that he had the credentials, had the background, had the knowledge to rebuild this team. We saw what he did with the 49ers. We heard that he helped those drafts, picking those later players in the rounds in 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that's what we really needed on this team. We needed a GM that could come in and not just pick a good first round pick or a second round pick, but really find those gems that were in the later rounds. And Adam Peters had the background to do so. So we thought. In his first draft, he brought in a lot of solid players, a lot of early solid players. He brought in our QB, the man, the myth, the legend, Jayden Daniels, first round pick, second pick overall. This one was a no-brainer for me, and I'm sure for a lot of you. Some fans kind of went back and forth. Drake May, JJ. We knew we weren't going to get Caleb, but I didn't want him anyway. But I figured that Jayden Daniels had something in him that, again, we didn't know that what he would have been that we know of today, but he showed he had good pocket presence, showed he had a cannon for an arm, he had mobility, leadership, toughness. So this was a good pick that we thought. Next, going on to Newton as your second round pick, 36 overall. He came in with some nagging injuries, had some foot injuries. I believe right when we drafted him, he just came off of surgery that January to repair an injury in his plantar foot. Later on in the offseason, the other foot started nagging him. He had to get some work on that one as well. So to start the season last year, he was coming off of 2 foot injuries that really slowed his progression, really slowed him from really developing in that offseason. And he had a slow start. But later on in the season, Newton showed that he could be a vital piece coming off the bench to spell Payne and Jonathan Allen at the time. Newton was a good, quick, fast-paced type of D tackle. He's smaller in size, but he made up for that with some quickness and power. So Newton showed a little something last year. Same thing with Mikey, another second-round pick, 50th overall. Earlier on in the season, we had him in a slot where he dominated in college, probably the best college inside corner in college. He early on in college, he was a wide receiver, switched to corner, and he thrived. And we figured that he would be a plug and play type of corner on our team. We had him in at the inside early on in the season, and he struggled. Did he struggle because it was the NFL speed, NFL talent, or was it the players around him? He had Forbes on the outside, he had a lot of nonsense, a lot of low-level talent around him. A lot of changes were made, and we switched him to the outside. As soon as we did that, we saw the improvement. We saw him making plays. We saw the tight, sticky coverage. And he was starting to make plays. And he really showed up later on in the season. He was really competitive against wide receivers. Didn't let them get a ton of yards on him. And then he made big plays in the playoffs as well. Mikey showed that this was, again, another good pick by Adam Peters. Next, Ben Sinnott, second round tight end, 53rd overall. Slow start for Ben Sinnott. Didn't see a lot from him in the offseason last year. Made a couple plays in the preseason last year against the Jets. Had a big play, but slow developer. Didn't see a lot of him last season. And that was primarily because Zach Ertz was dominant. Zach Ertz was making plays. He was reliable. Jayden could depend on him. So we didn't see a lot of Ben Sinnott. I was expecting for us to see more of him this season, which we'll get into a little bit later. But as far as last season, as far as his pick, I was expecting that Ben Sinnott could and would develop into our future starting tight end. Hopefully, that could still happen. The jury is still out for that. But Ben Sinnott, right now, I'm gonna leave a question mark on Ben Sinnott because right now we just haven't seen it. Brandon Coleman, third round pick, 67th overall. He helped, he helped us a lot last year. We had him come in at left tackle because our O line last year was terrible. He came in last year, helped out very well, held up. Jaden didn't get a lot of pressure on his left side. Played really well all the way up into into the playoffs. Um, but however, we didn't draft him to be our left tackle. I believe we drafted him to be an inside guard, but we really needed help on the outside, so we did move him there. Um, and this year he struggled. He lost his spot on the line. Now he's coming off the bench. Some games he doesn't even suit up. This one, to me, I mean, for a third round pick, 67th overall, right now he's kind of like a swing type of backup offensive lineman. For what he did last year and the growth that he could continue to make, I'm gonna say that this was a good pick. He is a solid offensive lineman with more room to grow, and he helped out a lot last year. So this was a good pick for us last year. As far as Luke McCaffrey, last year we didn't really play him at all. We didn't see much of him. He made a couple plays here and there, a couple splash plays. I know we all remember that early on that play versus the Bengals where he was wide open, almost scored that touchdown. But we didn't use him a lot. We had Alameda Zaccheaus. We had some other players that are no longer here. So he didn't really get a lot of playing time this year. We definitely expected for him to get some playing time, and we did see him a lot more. And the more and more plays that he received, we saw that he was getting more plays. He was making more plays. He was becoming more open. His hands was getting a little bit more secure in the catch. He was making a toe tap catches on the sidelines. You saw the growth. You saw the development. You saw the work that he put in the offseason. He carried it on to this season. So Luke was showing the improvement that we wanted to see from a third round running back. I mean, from a third round wide receiver. But unfortunately, which we'll get into later, now he's on the injured list. Won't be seeing him for the remaining of the season, which is unfortunate because we did see the improvement with McCaffrey. With Jordan Magee, another player, even though he was drafted late in the draft in the 5th round, 139 overall, he showed the speed out of Rutgers. He really showed that he could go sideline to sideline. But last year he was dealing with some injuries as well, and we didn't see him, and because of Bobby Wagner's presence and Frankie Louvu, we honestly didn't need him like we really need him this year, because we had those veterans in there that was filling in that time. But this year, we all did expect Magee to have some more playing time because we all know Wagner is at the end of his career. He's not going to be here long term. And Frankie Louvu is not that inside linebacker that we need. He's more of that outside linebacker, pass rusher. So we really need to find Wagner's replacement. And I really thought that Jordan Magee could be it. But again, which we'll get into a little bit later, some of these players we just do not give opportunities to. We don't give them solid chances to really see what we have. And that's the frustrating part, which we'll get into. But Magee, I'm gonna say this was a good pick because even if he doesn't start, he's a good player when he comes off the bench. He makes a lot of plays, so McGee is a good pick. We won't get into Dominique Hampton. He was released in the offseason, so gonna say that was a bad pick. And then Javante Jean Baptiste, seventh round pick. He made some plays here and there, but he ended up on our long injury list, our CVS receipt injury list. Baptiste ended up being on, so jury's still out for him. He could maybe become a solid young um, defensive end, but again, we won't know for the rest of this year because he won't be playing. So jury is still out for him. So as we discuss the 2024 off season and season in totality, we can look at some of the key free agents that we signed as well that Adam Peters really brought in to really solidify this team. We had a lot of holes. We understand that Adam Peters came in to a roster that was terrible, didn't have solid players at almost any position. So he brought in players like Bobby Wagner, Tyler Biotish, Marcus Mariota, Zach Ertz, Austin Eckler, Frankie Luvu, Jeremy Chin, Nick Allegretti, Alameda Zacchaeus. And all of these players at some point last year helped us become that 12-5, 14-6 total overall record last year. They all helped us at some point to get a win, to really shape that team. Wagner made plays. Biotish was holding up. Mariota gave some good advice and confidence and came in two games against the Panthers and the Cowboys and got us wins. Frankie Luvu made plays. Jeremy Chin making a lot of plays, especially against in those Giants games. Allegretti playing well. Zacchaeus making big plays, especially against the Eagles last year. So all of these key free agents helped us last year at some point. So I'm going to say, that off season, it wasn't a lot of mistakes. The things that didn't work out, you couldn't really you can't fault it because the good outweighed the bad. You can't really point at one thing and say it's bad. Almost every signing and almost early on, almost every draft pick seemed like it made sense. Seemed like, okay, I can see why they drafted him. And at some point, they did show a little spark at some point. So yeah, Adam Peters did get off to a good start. And that season, it was one of the most unbelievable seasons that we'll probably see for a long time. Definitely one in the history books for the Washington franchise, going 12-5. Total of 14-6. The big win is in the playoffs against the Buccaneers and the Lions, and had a letdown against the Eagles. But who would have known? Who would have thought that we would get to the NFC Championship game? And sadly, that brought us into the 2025 offseason. Offseason with high hopes, but I think because of the success, we made some questionable decisions. And some of those decisions, I'm going to first start with the acquisitions that we received heading into that 2025 free agency. Okay, I think that this is where we started to spiral, and we didn't even know it yet. And it started to me. It started off with the um, Lattimore trade, a trade that since we did have those struggles and questions at corner, we figured that Lattimore would help us in this spot. I'm going to say that from the jump, this was a bad trade because Lattimore was already dealing with injuries. His hamstrings was effed up, falling off the bone when he was with the Saints. So you trade for an injured corner who's, some could say, headed past his prime, hamstring falling off the bone, and you trade for him. Washington sent a third, fourth, and a sixth round pick in the 2025 draft to the Saints in exchange for Lattimore and a fifth round pick. Okay. So you trade for an injured corner, you're receiving back a fifth, but you give up a third, a fourth, and a sixth. You're giving away your future because you want to win now, thinking that Lattimore is going to help you win now. To me, this was the first sign that we lost sight of the vision. That vision that Peters had when he first came on the team, that vision of seeing that this roster is crap. He had the vision when he first came to know that this roster is crap, and he didn't trade away the future. He just brought in solid veterans, Bobby, Ertz, Luvu, Jen. He brought in vets to help, but he didn't salvage the future. Now, because of the early success that we had last year in that season, we're starting to give away our future, our picks, to really continue to rebuild this team. That third round pick could have turned out to be a great player. Fourth round pick, fifth round. We trading away players that could really help us right now. Right now. So to me, that's an early sign that we're starting to lose track of the vision. So in that draft, in that free agency, we picked up Kinlaw. Kinlaw played with the 49ers, played with the Jets. He came in, made solid plays. Unfortunately, he ended up on the injured list. But he was a solid player. This was a good pickup for us. We had questions with him coming in. His contract was a little bit higher than we expected. But I see why. He played really, really well when Kinlaw was in the game. Russian defense was okay. He was getting some pressure on the quarterback, helped out the edges, Dorrance Armstrong and all of the edge guys was able to get pressure on the quarterback. So I think that was a good pickup. Will Harris as well. A few weeks of the season when Harris wasn't injured, he was making plays. And the secondary looked a lot better than what it does, after Harris's injury, because he's also on the injured list. Another player that we picked up that's on the injured list, Deatrich Wise. Deatrich Wise was playing great as well, making plays. At one point he was, seemed like he was in the backfield almost, few times a game. But again, he's hurt. But that was another good signing. Some other questionable trades now where we're trading away our future. Let's talk about Debo. Everybody understood the trade because we all knew that Terry needed some help. He needed some of that coverage, some of those looks to be taken off of him to kind of open him up a little bit more. And Adam Peters thought that Debo could be that player. We traded for Debo and gave up a fifth round pick. I don't dislike this pick. I believe that Debo is and will continue to be, if he can be healthy, a solid player. And we only gave up a fifth round pick for him. So I'm not going to, discredit or talk bad about this pick. I think it was a good one. But this next one, I'm still scratching my head about, because again, you really don't see the return with this one. but can guarantee you we'll see the return from the depletion um, of us depleting our draft picks in this next one. So for Laramie Tunsil, okay, we received Laramie Tunsil from the Houston Texans and a 2025 fourth round pick. Okay. We got a great player. He was one of the top left tackles in the league last year. Had some issues with penalties, but as a blocker, one of the best. And we receive a fourth round pick. You were cool. What did we give up though? In exchange, we gave up third round pick in the 2025 draft. We gave up a seventh pick in the 2025 draft. Okay. But the ones that will hurt us is the next two. We gave up a second round pick in the 2026 draft and a fourth round pick in the 2026 draft. Those two will hurt us and will, to me, slow our roster development and roster turnover. It's going to slow that up a little bit. Why? Because we don't have the picks to fix our issues. Let me say that again. We do not and will not and won't obtain any picks to help stop the bleeding. Okay? Currently, we are the oldest team in the NFL. Our record isn't our record is a reflection of that. We're the oldest team in the league. We're probably one of the slowest teams in the league. Our awareness could be through the roof. Actually, let me take that back because Ertz awareness is not through the roof. As many times as he gets stopped a yard short of a first down. I went on my rant last time. I'm not going to go there today. But we're very slow. And every year the NFL is getting faster, younger, stronger. We were on that trajectory in the 2024 draft. We traded some good players, speed, and more importantly, talented. But you need as many bites of that apple as possible in order to find those gems in the draft. Yes, we have a first round pick, but we don't have a second. Second picks are important. Why? We just used our second pick in this draft and got a great player, Trey Amos. Looks like our best corner on our team. We drafted him in the second round. What could that have been in this upcoming draft? An edge, a linebacker, a tight end, a safety, another corner, a lineman. What could that be? The possibilities are endless, but we don't have it. Yes, we have a third round pick, but we don't have a fourth. What could that be? Yes, we will have a lot of money to play with in free agency. But I say that it slows down the trajectory and the roster turnover is because, yes, we have the money in free agency to sign free agents, but that's still the older route. Are we getting another Wagner? That's a couple years younger. Are we getting another Ertz? That is slow. Are we getting it? You know what I mean? Are we getting? We're not really turning over this roster to get these young players on this team and develop them. We got to go get out of the old bin and try to wipe the dust off, see what you got left. That's what we're going to do this off season. Okay? If you thought that we wasn't splashy in this past off season, because that's where we have to get it from. We can't get it from the draft. And we have a lot of positions that need work. We need more linemen. We need more defensive linemen. I'm sure Zach Ertz isn't going to be here. We'll probably need another tight end. We don't even know. We haven't been sent it. So I'm sure we're going to get another tight end, another linebacker. Secondary. Oh my God. Let's not even go there. Wide receivers. All of these positions that we need help on, we won't get from the draft. We'll get from those bargain bins. Those we'll probably get close to double-digit free agents coming in. And that's what we'll spend that money on. And then we got to wait for the 2027 draft to get that rebuild start going on. So it slowed us back a little bit because we thought that our time was now. We thought the time was now, and it's not. The time is almost now. That's where we were. We reached the NFC Championship game, but the time was not now. Why not keep Brandon Coleman did okay last year. Why not maybe possibly keep him there one more year? Just hold on. Don't get Tunsil right now. Hold on. Trust Coleman. Trust another situation. Don't give away all those picks. Soon, we're not going to do it yet because he had a great 2024 offseason. But if these choices, decisions to salvage some of our future away, give some of our future away, thinking that our time is now, soon we're going to have more of a conversation on Adam Peters. We're not doing it yet, but soon we might have to, especially if these picks don't pan out. Okay. Josh Conerly, first round pick, drafted number 29. He struggled this year, as a rookie tackle would do. But a questionable, what I think that kind of really, really, really screwed us was, it's just my thought. I'm a fan, just like you. If I asked you to start writing with the opposite hand other than your dominant hand that you write with, and told you to write a clear essay, clear report, and your job depended on it, and it needs to be legible, clear, no mistakes, would you be able to do it? Your job is on the line. Remember that. That's what we asked Josh Conerly to do. He was primarily a left tackle at Oregon. We drafted him after the Tunsil trade and said, hey, Rook, I know you used to block it on the left side, but guess what? I want you to go on the right side and go up against some of the best edge rushers in the league. I want you to do that. Figure it out. We're going to help you, but figure it out. We need you to do that. I'm thinking, why not trade for Tunsil? Because you got to think, why would the Houston Texans trade away their best tackle if he's that good? Why would they trade him away? How about we not make that trade? You keep your third, your fourth, your sixth. You keep all of that. And you draft Connerly to be on the left side, left tackle, the position that he played for his whole college career. You leave him over there on the left side. And then you ask old Wiley. Old Wiley. He's played okay. He played pretty good this year so far. But you asked him, hey, Wiley, I'm not gonna phase you out yet. I need you to stay on that right side for this season. Brandon Coleman, you could be our swing guy at guard, left tackle. If Connolly struggles, we can move you around a little bit. But there was other options that we could have made to not give up those picks. So again, questionable decision. Trey Amos looks like he'll be a great pick. Second round, 61 overall. Jaden Lane, Butterfingers. He had a good kick return against the Raiders, but when it's time to catch that ball, that man is Homer Simpson. He is fading away. He is fading away. That ball is just slipping out of that man's hands almost every time. And it's usually when we really need it. Third down, drop pass, drop pass, drop pass. Questionable pick. He has some time to develop, but as far as this year, and it's sad because with Terry's injury, we're probably seeing Jaden Lane earlier than we need to. We probably wasn't going to see Jaden Lane as much this year, just like we didn't see Luke last year like that. We wouldn't have seen Lane as much as we were seeing him if we didn't have all these wide receiver injuries. We trying to bring him along faster than what we really would have wanted. So then came Madrano. Haven't seen him at all. I think he probably made some special teams plays here and there, but has a lot of promise coming out of UCLA. A lot of promise, but again, haven't seen him a lot. 6th round pick. We'll see how he can develop later on in the season and off season of next year. And then Bill Krosky-Merritt, great start to the season. At some point, we were the second best rushing team in the league. But I'm not going to put it all on him because I think that the changes that we made when Cosme came back, we had a couple different changes, and then offensive line wasn't blocking like we needed them to. So not going to put it all on Bill. Yes, he could, hold on to the ball more, had a couple fumbles, break through some of those holes and tackles. But I think, as a rookie running back in the 7th round, he's having a solid season. Still a lot of games to go. He can really turn the season around. So I'm going to say so far, Bill is a good running back so far in this draft to find in the 7th round. But let's talk a little bit about this season. I think that we really fumbled that Terry contract situation. It really slowed him down. Probably is the reason why he's been dealing with this quad injury all season. I wish they would have got that done a lot sooner, as we all do. Not going to stay too long on that contract issue, but I think it did have a lot to do with his nagging injuries and also slowed down Jaden's development with him as well. If you don't have your number one out there in the off season throwing passes to and getting synced up, you're going to struggle. So, and that was one of the wide receivers that Jaden trusted. If you remember last year, Jaden was running the ball those first 2 to 3 games. Why do you think he was running a lot? If you don't trust something, will you do it? No matter what you see. If you don't trust, if it's a catch exercise and you're going to fall back into the person's arms that's behind you. If you don't trust them, are you going to fall back? Will you do it? I sure as hell won't. Okay. I got you. What you going to do first? You're going to look back, see who it is. Okay, I trust you. And you might do it. Still might not. But you might do it. That's what happened last year. Jaden was running the ball, using his legs, using his legs. It wasn't until that Bengals game where Terry was like, I got you. Trust me. Throw it up to me. And he trusted him. He gave him a shot of trust, threw it up to him a couple times. And what did Terry do? He proved him right. He built that trust. After that game, you saw if Jaden needed a play, who was he looking for? He looking for 17. Why? Because he trusted him. The two receivers that he trusted was Jaden and Ertz. And who did he have the whole season? Terry and Ertz. So he was more comfortable. With Terry out there, I know if something goes wrong, I could throw it up for Terry. He 9 times out of 10 contested catch, he's going to come down with it. If it's a third down, most likely Ertz is going to at least catch the ball. Will he make it past the first down marker? I know he'll catch it. And then if all else fails, then I'm using my legs. But he had a couple players that he could trust. Coming into this season, first game, he looked comfortable. We played the Raiders. Terry got hurt. Then you see after that, Jaden kind of holding the ball a little bit. You know, when Terry's not in the game, now he's holding the ball. He'll see somebody open, but I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Then he'll throw the ball. Jaden Lane, drop. Oh, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Now it's going to come around again. You could be open. Like he was in that Seahawks game. Jaden Lane was wide open for like a 20, 30-yard pass. He's looked at him. I don't trust you. I'm going to try to do it with the thing that I do trust. Myself. My legs. I'm not going to I've tried so many times and you failed me. I'm not going to do it. A player that was gaining his trust, Luke McCaffrey. Threw it up to Luke a couple times, toe tap, grab, catch. Okay? You got to build that trust. The QB has to build that trust with you. With Terry's injury, wasn't able to do that. In and out. Jaden's injuries to his knee, hamstring. Everybody's hamstring and knees is falling off the bone on this team. Let's get into it. Jaden Daniels. Right now, he's dealing with that left elbow dislocation. He's out indefinitely. They said that he'll probably return. He could possibly return after the bye week. He needs the work. He needs to develop. Again, he's still just, 1 year shy of a rookie season. He needs the work, So I'm not on that, side where it's protect him, don't play him if the season is out of reach. If we 3-10 at that point, don't put. I'm not with that. The man still needs work. He still needs to develop. He still needs to see certain defenses and work through them. So if he's healthy enough to play, I say bring him back. Terry. I know he saw second, third, fourth, fifth opinions on his quad. Came back in a game, made some good catches against the Chiefs, and got hurt again. He's probably going to be out for a lot of games. Who knows? I just think they just need to handle this one with a little bit more care. I don't want this to be something that we have to deal with in the future next season. So he just needs to get completely healthy at this point. Make sure it's 100%. Don't come back at 80 or 90%. Get to 100, rest up. If that means you miss the rest of the season, don't play. But don't come back for 2 games and leave again with the same damn injury. We don't got time for that. Come back 100%. Noah Brown, he's not on our team. I said it. You know it. He's not. He's not on the team. He's just getting his rehab, getting his work in. He's not on the team. He was injured a lot last season. Haven't seen him at all this season. We're not going to talk about him. He's not on the team. Luke McCaffrey, unfortunate, broke his collarbone last week. He's out for the season. Yeah, he can come back next year, continue on, hopefully, where he left off the season, making those improvements. Another one, Dorrance Armstrong, knee out for season. Something about these soft tissue, these ligament injuries that plagued us this year. I'm sure we're the most injured team with season ending or out indefinitely, putting players on IR. I'm sure we'll be the most in the NFL, especially to our starters, because yeah, he was playing great. He was tops in the league in sacks. This one was very unfortunate that we lost him. And then Will Harris broke a fibula. He's still trying to come back. This man said, "Hey, this bone about to heal up, and he'll be back." So we'll see. He's fighting to come back. I don't think they'll probably bring him back until the bye week as well. But Will Harris broke his fibula, and he's fighting to come back. Dietrich Wise, another DN, out for the season with a quad. It's brutal, man. It's brutal. With no pass rushers, how do we expect to get any pressure on the quarterback? So another tough one. Eckler, Achilles, out. You name a position, most likely the starter is out. Lattimore, ACL, out. And I just want to make this comment because I don't agree with the masses that Lattimore, when we think about our secondary, everybody just wants to focus on Lattimore just because, yes, he gave up a big play. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he didn't turn his head around. He didn't. The coverage, though, to me, has not been terrible this year, especially in that Dallas game. We know that quarterbacks are going to pick on Marshawn. Why? It's most likely he'll get called for a penalty. Or the ball just gets dropped in the basket. I'm not going to lie. But in that Dallas game, he was getting called for flags. Looked like contact was going from both players, wide receiver and him. It was one play. Coverage was sticky. He looked back and everything. He on the dude. Ball dropped right in the basket, right in the wide receiver, and right in his lap. You can't help that. You can't help that. You know, he's played well. He had an interception, playing with more confidence. I think he definitely improved a lot from last season. Yeah, so not going to put it all on him. I think we need to look at another corner from 2024 draft that has regressed. Not, I know we don't want to go there with Mikey, but check out some of the plays. Wide receivers are running wide open. Mikey is getting shook off the line frequently. Okay. So where now I think the coaches are thinking about moving him back on the outside because he was, more successful that last year. But again, Mikey have struggled. And Javonte Jean-Baptiste, torn pec, out. There's more injuries. They're all not listed here. We got injuries as long as you can think of them. But injury played year for us, definitely. But we still can't blame it on the injuries. A lot of teams are facing a lot of injuries. Lions had secondary decimated again. They're still great, even it's hard to come back when your starting QB is out every other week. That one is tough, but you got to find a way to win. Um, and what I want to talk about for a couple seconds the the coaching staff. The coaching staff to me is the most at fault. Despite the players that was brought in, despite the injuries, are you really preparing our players to be successful? Are they? Hmm. Last year, I thought so. That brotherhood, anywhere, anybody, anytime. I felt like the players were prepared. I did. Do I feel like they're doing everything that they could do this year to put our players um, in the best position to succeed? No, I don't. And this is primarily on defense because I do believe that Cliff is doing the best that he can with what he has. You know, his starting QB is in and out. His starting wide receivers are out. His offensive line is juggled around, jumbled. Um, he's doing the best that he can with what he has. As far as his defense, Joe Witt, it shouldn't take. I ain't gonna stay on this man long. It shouldn't take for the players on the team to ask and not gonna say beg, but ask you, hey, can you come down from the box and be on the sideline with us? Call plays from the sideline. That's coming from his players. Mind you, he's getting scored on every week. His defense is putting up 30 points a game. Hmm? Seahawks, we know what they did 15 to 15, 4 touchdowns in the first half on your ass. Joe Witt, Chiefs, play a little close, but couldn't hold them back. You pick a offense, we gave it up. Cowboys gave it up. Bears looked horrible in the second half, gave it up. But it took for the players to ask you, Joe Witt, to come down from your booth, from your skybox, to come down into the fire, into the war zone with your players. Because when they ask you, then you're going to go ask the head coach. Hey, head coach, hey, DQ, the players are asking me to come down. Is that okay? That's showing even more that you don't even want to come down. Would you want him to say no? First of all, why are you asking him? Let's stop right there. Why are you asking the head coach if you could come from the box down to the field? Is that a question? You need permission? Or are you hoping he say no? Which one is it? Let me give you this analogy. That's like if you're in a position of management. I'm gonna say like myself. If you're in a position of management, right? Let's just say you're in your office working. You're doing your work in an office. But outside of your office, your employees are going through crap is hitting the fan. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong. People running around. Oh my God. Oh my God. The place is burning and you're in your office. You don't have the common sense, the self awareness, the give a F at all to realize that the place is burning, that all hell is breaking loose. You don't realize it and do it yourself and open your office door and go into the flames and say, I'm going to help you get out of this. That's what Joe Witt did for the last 4 to 5 weeks. He sat in that office, in that box, and heard it. He heard it and he saw it, hopefully, because one eye's here and one eye's there. Hopefully he saw it, but he definitely heard it. He heard the chaos. He saw it. Hopefully. And did nothing. And it wasn't until the employee knocks on that office door. Boom, 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 boom. It's not until that employee knocks on your door and say, hey, Mike, can you come out here and help us? Can you help us, please? And he don't just go out there and help. He goes to his boss. Hey, DQ, is it okay if I help them? What type of BS is that? What type of nonsense BS is that? First of all, it took them to ask you without you realizing it. That should have been something he did 2-3 weeks ago. I'm making the decision to leave out of my office to help you. Even if I feel like I can help you, maybe he thinks in this office, I could be doing things behind the scenes. I can be helping without you really realizing. But sometimes your employees, your players need to see you in the fire with them. They need to know that you with them in the shit. That's where it's broken. That's where it's broken. That's where the players start to not believe what you say in those meetings because you're not showing it. Where's Cliff every Sunday? You don't think Cliff can probably see the defenses and everything of how everything is going from the booth? But where is he though? He's on the sideline. If something happens that he doesn't like, what is he doing? Hey, Jaden, everything cool? Da, 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 da. Oh, hey, Mariota. No. He'll go over to a player. You'll see him go over to a player on the sideline. Hey, say something to him real quick. And hey, but he's there. He's in the fire. What in the hell was Joe Witt saying to anybody during the game? He's in a headpiece with Wagner. Hey, cover two. We're going to do this. Watch out for this. They probably going to do the screen. If we do the screen, watch out. Da, da, da. If they give up a big play after that, all right, that ain't work. But we're going to do cover three. We're going to do da, 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 da. Boom, 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 boom. All right, boom. Where's the correction at? Yo, Wag, what are you doing? Da, 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 da. McGee, da, 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 da. Where's the correction right then and there? You wait until halftime. You wait until after the game to tell the players your expectation. You wait until after the flames go out, after the fire's put out. That's when you try to correct. Hey, you could have done this better. You could have done this. You could have done that. Next time, do this. Nah, my man. Next time, come out your office, come out your box, and you tell me that when I did it. You helped me in the moment. Help me correct it so we could get this win in the moment. A lot of questions at defense. A lot of questions at defense. A lot of questions. But we're halfway through the season. Season hasn't gone our way. But what do we have? We have hope. And what do we don't have? A lot of picks in this 2026 draft. We have first round pick, third, fifth, sixth, seventh. That's it. That's it. And you think that maybe with the first two, that first and that third, you better hit. You better hit. You better hit. Because it's not likely that fifth, sixth, seventh round picks hit. It's not likely. But you better hit on that first and third, or this team will continue to struggle. This roster will continue to be slow. The talent level will stay where it is if we don't hit on these draft picks. We'll see what we bring in. We'll see what we bring in. But for this season, for the rest of the season, what I want to see, I want to see us get healthy. But I also want to see some of these young players develop. I want to see the Ben Simmons and the other, I want to see the Jordan McGee's making the plays for the defense, calling the plays. I want to see that. Ben Simmons running routes. I want to see what that looked like in an NFL game. I want to see it. Even if it don't look good, I want to see it because then you know what you have. I need to see that. I wouldn't mind seeing Madrano out there on the field, taking Louisville out for a couple plays, put Madrano in. Capo, put players in. Put them in. Why not? Why not? We're already back. What is it going to hurt to see some of these young players and see what you have? You going to keep playing Wagner? Ertz? For what? Those two positions alone, I want to see. I want to see what we got. Because you won't be here next year to get us out of this. If this stuff happens again, you're not going to be here to help us get out of it. You're not. Wagner not going to be here. You better not be. You better be on the sideline as a coach. You better not be here as our starting linebacker. Zach Ertz, you better not be here as our starting tight end. If you come back, it better be a backup, and they better say, hey, Ben Simmons is our starting tight end. Zach Ertz is going to be backup. Same with Wags, even though I know those two players don't want to do that. They still want to try to get their yards and stats. But thank you for what you've done for us, your time here, but that time is now past. That time is now past. Let's get younger. Let's get younger. Let's see what we have. Stop being old. Let's get younger. Let's get quicker, faster, stronger. It's that time. And get healthy. This season didn't play out how we wanted. We had high expectations. The wool was over our eyes, but let's take that wool off. Let's know what we are. We're not going to be that team this year and not next year either. Let's get that in our heads. We got a lot of work to do. Even if we have success next year, if we make it to the playoff, we're not there yet. We're not there. Let's get more players in here. Let's develop the ones we have. We're not there yet. And don't let the early success fool you like it did this year, because it fooled almost all of us. We definitely thought we was that team was going to do a little something. Don't let it fool us again. We're not there yet. And that's okay. That's okay. It's okay not to be there yet. That's the thing coming out from where we came from the last 25 years under Daniel Snyder. That's what we need to really understand and accept. It's okay to not be great. It's okay. When you're bottom feeders for 25 years, you don't know what success feel and look like. Once you get it, you think like, oh, I'm there now. You're not. And that's okay. Because you're trying to be. You're working towards it. There's a lot of things that we could point out that is good. Ownership. So far, Adam Peters. Still believing in him. Even though, some things didn't work out. Still believing in Adam Peters. DQ is still a good coach, still a good motivator. And who we got? We got that man, Jaden Daniels. We got our quarterback. If you wanna start it from the top down, that's what we're doing. We got it. But let's get the players on those next tier levels. Let's get them up. Let's get them elevated. Let's work on those. We got all those other things. Let's work on those other things. Let's get Terry another legitimate wide receiver on the other side. Not Debo, but a legitimate receiver. Let's work on that. Let's get a young, reliable tight end for Jaden to grow with for his almost entire career. Let's get him that. Let's get him that. Is he on the team already? Who knows? If not, let's find him. Let's get a great middle linebacker that's here for years to come. Let's get an edge that you can rely on that's putting pressure on the quarterback week after week after week. Let's get another corner opposite of Trey Amos. Let's work on those things. We can develop this team into a contender year after year after year. We can do it. It's okay that we're not there yet. Our roster 2 years ago, worse in the league. Got rid of 60, 70% of our roster when Adam Peters came in. It takes time. It takes time. But we will get there. Okay? We'll get there. So as we look ahead to the second half of the season, let us renew our faith in this franchise. The state of the Commanders is improving. We're not great, not polished, but one thing we are is hopeful. And hope, my friends, is how every comeback begins. It's with hope. Thank you, and may football bless the nation's capital once again. Peace.